What's going on, everybody? Anushka Sheffy here from dropshipsniper.com, and in this video I have something special for you. We're going to be covering one of the biggest questions that comes up when it comes to Amazon dropshipping, and that is how much money do you need to start your Amazon dropshipping business? So that's what we're going to cover, and if you stick around to the end of this video, I'm going to teach you how one of my students started with as little as $100 and grew it up to start hiring people in his business. It took a long time, but I'll teach you how he did that, all right? So stick around to the end. Let's get this. All right, so here we are, folks. I'm actually inside the Dropship Sniper Mastermind group. If you're not in that group, go ahead and click the link below. Jump into that free group where there's multiple six-figure earners in there helping each other grow and build their Amazon dropshipping businesses, all right? If you're not in there, you should be, all right? So anyways, guys, what we're going to be talking about today is the budget you need to start a business on Amazon, all right? And this does not going to be pertaining to FBA or any other model, but dropshipping, okay? And this is very specific to Amazon dropshipping. So if you're talking about anything else, it's probably a different video for that, and this might be on my channel, so go check it out. All right, I did do another video on my channel where I talked about the budget you're going to need to run a $100,000 store, and I think that kind of confused people and may have scared a few people away from starting their business, actually, because when I talked about in that video was running a $100,000 store requires, you know, upwards of $30,000 a month, okay? And not everyone has that kind of budget, and don't think you need that kind of budget in order to run an awesomely successful, very profitable business on Amazon, okay? You can start with much less, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So what kind of numbers do you need to run an awesome store, okay? So I typically tell people a good number to start around is about $500 to $1,000, but there are a few caveats that I want to make clear, okay? Because first of all, on Amazon, if you don't already know, if you're coming from eBay, it's a lot different world. There's different aspects and different payment periods for these two platforms, okay? It's different than Shopify. It's different than everything else, okay? Amazon holds your funds for 2 weeks, all right? And that is just a standard holding period. There are some catches to that where you can request withdrawals from your account, which will be ahead of that 2-week period. But in general, you're going to have a 2-week holding period for your funds, okay? Now, that's just a standard, and that's how Amazon rolls, right? Now, on top of that, when you have a brand new account on Amazon, what's going to happen? They're going to hold your funds, a portion of your funds, additional to that 2-week holding period, okay? So it can be, let's say, a little bit difficult to scale up with very little capital because Amazon is literally going to hold your funds additionally on top of that 2-week hold. So if you start with, let's say, $100, like one of my students did, and we'll talk about that, so stick around, but if you start with $100, you have to imagine that, first of all, you're not going to make that much profit. If we're doing 25% on $100, you're making 25 bucks a month. And you know what? I have to give congratulations to this guy because what he did is he started with a minimum investment of $100, but he grew it up and got to a point where he came to me and said, hey, can you help me hire people to run this business? So, you know, congrats to that guy. Not many people have the discipline to keep rolling back that investment into their business and keep growing it and growing it to that point. So congrats to Kendrick, actually. But anyway, we'll get into that, how he did that and how you can do that. But optimally, you want to have about $500 to $1,000 or more, right? Having more capital is never going to be a problem. Having less capital can definitely cause issues. So if possible, you want to get more than $1,000, but starting with 500 to 1,000 is a decent starting point. Let's crunch some numbers real quick. I can even open up like a paint here, and we can crunch some numbers, right? If we have, let's say, 500 bucks, let me just write here 500 bucks. I don't know, it's super delayed. I don't think this is going to work. Okay, so this is definitely not going to work. Sorry, technology guys. Let me go ahead and try to close this up and reopen it. I don't know what's going on. Maybe the recording is slowing it down, but don't save that. Let me go see. Anyway, so let's just see if this will work. Let's just go with, for math purposes, let's say $1,000, okay? I don't want to keep you guys here all day. I know you're busy. So $1,000, guys. You start with $1,000. What kind of potential is there when you start with that kind of money? Okay, and this doesn't include anything else but the cost of goods, right? If you have other software, if you have other things like that, this does not include any of that stuff. So with $1,000, what can you expect? Well, if you're going to spend $1,000 on product and you're going to be at, average percentage wise might be around 25%. Whoa. put it over here, 25% or so, 25%. And, you know, it ranges. With each product, your profit percentage is going to range. Some products you're going to make like 60%. Some products you might make 10%. And so your profit is going to range. But in general, when I was running this business on my own with no team, I was making roughly 20 to 25%. All right. So on that 1,000, you're making roughly $250 a month. All right. So that's pretty awesome. From $1,000 you start. At the end of the month, you have $1,250. Now, you have to have the discipline to reinvest this money in order to really grow a business when you start with this kind of capital, okay? Because this is not a lot of capital to start with. Ultimately, if you have more, it will be a lot faster to grow, right? Because if you're doing 25% on, say, 5,000, well, now, what is that? I'm not a mathematician. I think it's $1,250 or something like that, $1,500, excuse me, something like that. So if you're making $1,250 profit, right, every month, that right there is going to grow. And every year, this is going to add up to, you know, $15,000, something like that. And you can reinvest that and really build a solid little nest egg, right? And keep reinvesting your profits. So that's what I always suggest, guys. That's a big tip I have for you. You have to be willing to reinvest this. Don't go buy like burritos and stuff with your profits. Put it back in. And this is so important. This is why I suggest to my students that you should definitely separate your accounts. If possible. You don't want to commingle accounts. Even if you're going to be running this business as a sole proprietor, which is totally fine, try to get a separate account so that when you get paid to Amazon, that the money goes in there and that you spend from that account. And it's like this nice, perfect loop, right? And that there's no commingling of your personal stuff with the business, okay? So that's a tip I have for you. Now, I wanted to get to the bonus, guys, about that I talked about in the beginning, about how my students started with 100. So let me go ahead and just open up a new one of these. So how did he start with 100? Let me give you the tip. So he had $100, and we already talked that at 25%, we're going to be making $25, okay? Now, that will be every 2 weeks. So, you know, every month, this is $50. And yes, it's not huge. But you know what? At least he's making some money. If you're not making money online, he's making more than you, right? So at least he got started and he's making money, okay? So this is how it works. This is how much you're going to make. But the thing is, how can we take this 100 and really run this business? Because what's going to happen? You have to imagine orders are going to come into your store. And when the order comes into your store, let's say somebody purchased a product for $50, right? That's coming on your Amazon store for $50. Then you need to go purchase the product from your supplier. Let's say you get it for $25, okay? So that means you can purchase 4 units, okay, at $25, excuse me, at $25, okay? And I'm sorry about all these, guys. This is the Dropship Sniper Mastermind group growing crazy. But anyways, 4 units at $25. So what happens after you make sale of those 4 units is you need to turn your store on vacation mode, all right? So there's a tip for you. Go up to the top right-hand corner of your screen inside your seller dashboard. You're gonna see something that says settings. Click the settings, go account info, and inside the account info on the left-hand side, what you're gonna see is something that says, are you going on vacation? And you click that, and you can see there all of the platforms that you can sell on, right? There's gonna be like US, .ca for Canada, and maybe .mx for Mexico, or whatever platforms you're selling on, you'll see there, and you can just simply turn your store to inactive, okay? So you start with $100, you make those 4 sales, boom, you turn your store on inactive, and you go on vacation. And now, be sure to process those orders, get them shipped, add the tracking just as you would, and then when you get that money back from Amazon, be sure to fire back up your store. Just go up there, settings, account info, vacation on, boom. And within, like, I've had it happen where I turned it on within seconds, literally within seconds, you have sales pouring in. Well, not seconds, minutes. I should say minutes. Within minutes, you have sales pouring into your account because your inventory is still there. You just have to turn your account back on and boom, it's like flipping a money switch, all right? So I hope that helps you guys. If you have a limited budget, don't be afraid to start this business, okay? You can still start this business, just be sure to reinvest your profits. That's the one tip I have for you. Keep reinvesting. And how was Kendrick able to get to a point of going with from $100 to, you know, hiring people? Well, keep reinvesting, okay? Keep putting that money, separate your accounts, make sure the money goes back in, and that's it. That's all you have to do, guys. Just keep doing this and you'll watch your account grow and it's gonna be awesome, okay? So if you enjoyed this content, guys, I really hope you did. If you did, go ahead and like the video below. It really helps the YouTube algorithm and it helps me, you know, rank and get this content into other people's hands, right? So I appreciate if you go ahead and like it. If you do enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel, trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and I'm super pumped to get there. If you enjoyed the content, it also helps. So subscribe to the channel, like it. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. I've been kind of slacking on this, guys. I've been so busy. I just got back from New York, and it was an amazing trip. I had never been to New York, so a bunch of first-time things. Had never been to New York, and it was just a great time. I had, you know, we did everything. Walked through Central Park, and we did everything. I had a nice little like penthouse with the most beautiful view of the city right in Times Square, or right down, like right 15 minutes walk. Like if you don't know, in New York you walk to everything, or you ride the train, right? But we were literally like walking everywhere. We rode bikes to Grand Central Station at 1 in the morning the last night we were there. So it was just an awesome time, guys. And you know what? I have to say thank you to my Amazon business, because that's what has allowed me to do that, right? The whole time I was on that vacation, what's happening? Sales are coming into my store because of two things. Because we have inventory that sells itself, right? And I have a team that runs and manages all those sales and the customer service side. So yes, guys, take it a step at a time. Start with whatever budget you have. If it's $100, you know, make it work. Go on vacation. If you have 500 to 1,000, that's a great start. Keep growing, keep investing, and then if you can get more, there's a few ways to do that, like partnerships, credit cards. Do whatever you can to kind of just grow this capital. And one little tip I'll leave you with: be sure to watch my other videos on my channel. It talks about cash back. You can get cash back credit cards. So not only will you get money to grow your business faster, but you can get cash back rewards. So they're literally handing you thousands of dollars of free money every month if you're growing a large business. Okay, so that's the tip I have for you. I've been talking a lot, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like it below, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good day.